Welcome back to another episode of Wednesday Wisdom on the Educational AD Podcast. We'll be right back with today's Wednesday Wisdom guest, but we want to give a shout out to our podcast partners, the Global Community of Women in High School Sports, We Coach, and the Florida Coaches Coalition. You've heard me say before, these are three great organizations that you really need to be a part of. So check out the Florida Coaches Coalition, the Global Community of Women in High School Sports, and We Coach. And now, let's have a quick word from our podcast sponsors. Please stay with us. We want to say thanks to Hometown Ticketing, the leading digital ticketing provider to schools and colleges. Go to hometownticketing.com, and they're going to show you how to set up and sell your tickets, not just for athletic events, but for things like your school plays and concerts, school dances, even graduation. They'll also show you how to scan the attendees that come to your events and collect your revenue. And every step of the way, you'll have a dedicated client success manager that's providing hands-on support. That's every step of the way. Go to hometownticketing.com right now and see all the things that they can do for you and your programs. Simple and easy online ticketing. We also want to say thank you to Vital Signs Wall of Fame. You know, they're on a mission to bring your school's legacy to life. If you're looking for a really cool way to display your school's record boards for all your sports, for all the events, or your school's Hall of Fame, go to vitalsignswalloffame.com and check out their interactive touchscreen video consoles. They're on a mission to bring your school's legacy to life and help you showcase your school's diverse history and your proudest moments. You'll find it all at vitalsignswalloffame.com. We also want to say thanks to Sideline Interactive. One of the best purchases I ever made was a Sideline Interactive indoor scoring table. We use it for home games, of course, but we also use it for pep rallies, for signing ceremonies. Their products are tremendously versatile, and their customer service is just outstanding. Go to sidelineinteractive.com and schedule a live web demo. That's sidelineinteractive.com. Create the ultimate game day experience for your student athletes. We also want to thank Snap Mobile. Go to snapraise.com and check out their entire suite of platforms designed to help you as an athletic director do your job better. Snap Store allows you to order custom spirit gear for everybody in your program. Snap Manage will help you design an entire website. And Snap Connect is their family engagement platform. And of course, Snap Raise is their fundraising platform that we have used with great success. And schools just like yours have raised over $700 million using the Snap Raise fundraising platform. They even have an option where you can get your money before you actually start your fundraiser. Does anyone else offer that? Go to snapraise.com and check out all of the features of the Snap Mobile empire. That's snapraise.com. We also want to say thanks to Gipper. Go to Gipper.com and see how athletic directors are creating world-class marketing content for their school's social media channels. You can do it in seconds on any device, and you don't need any design experience. Tell them you heard about it on the podcast. Use our podcast code ADPOD10 and get 10% off. That's Gipper.com. Create custom content for your school's social media channel. We want to say thanks to Final Forms, the industry leader in forms and registration, but they are so much more than that. Final Forms can help your parents with things like reminders for policies, for physicals, and all the forms that come when you have an athlete in the house. Final Forms can also help your coaches with things like attendance and communication. And for athletic directors, Final Forms can help you with eligibility, rosters, and all the reports that come across your desk. You know, it's time that you talk to someone who gets it, someone who's walked in your shoes. To take those next steps, go to finalforms.com/Jake. That's finalforms.com/Jake to get started with Final Forms. We also want to say thanks to Athletic Surveys by LifeTrack. Athletic surveys are a quick, easy, and affordable way for you to collect comprehensive data about your program and help you improve all aspects of it. Athletic directors typically only hear from that 2%, that squeaky wheel parent or, that disgruntled athlete. And we do need to hear from them, but you also need to hear from the 98% of the families and the athletes that love your programs. It's a tremendously valuable tool when you're talking with your principal, your school board, or that squeaky wheel parent. Go to athleticsurveys.com and find out all the things that they can do for you with their confidential surveys. That's athleticsurveys.com. Let them help you take your athletic program from good to great. And we want to say thanks to Huddle. Change the way you see the game. Go to huddle.com and see how they can help you, your coaches, and your athletes perform at the highest level. As a football coach, I used Huddle for years, but when I became an athletic director, I made sure that we were a Huddle school. And Huddle provides the tools to help your teams and your coaches improve. Huddle will provide a complete professional grade solution for the challenges you and your coaches face. Go to huddle.com. At Huddle, we believe in sports and teams believe in Huddle. Join the 6 million users and find out how to turn your school into a Huddle school. Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Wednesday Wisdom on the Educational AD Podcast. We've got a good friend and one of our Wednesday Wisdom regulars back, Shea Collins. Listeners will recognize, Shea is a certified athletic administrator, longtime athletic director in Virginia, and now she's broken out, still in education, broken out her own program, 365 mentoring and coaching. And first of all, Shea, welcome back to Wednesday Wisdom.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate the opportunity as always.
Well, it's always great to hear from you. And again, very wise. What do you have for our listeners this week on Wednesday Wisdom?
Well, I guess we can term this topic as don't stop on your dreams, continue to drive forward. Because I just started 365 Mentoring and Coaching, LLC, and that is basically to help do what I already do. So I love mentoring new ADs. I love mentoring coaches, as well as I teach AD classes for our VI AAA or NI AAA. So I do teach certification classes for the ADs there. Also, just working with students in general, student leaders. I will be working with other organizations that I've been asked to work with. One of the other organizations, helping them. I'm on a scholarship committee for another organization. Currently, I am a college advisor at a high school. So that's kind of changed roles a little bit, which has been definitely rewarding and beneficial. So I'm so thankful for the opportunity. So working as 365 mentoring and coaching is kind of what I've already been doing. As a coach for many years, it's kind of like I did that and didn't know that there was such a thing that we were doing, but just continuing the process to make sure that happens for all young people. And then as I was an AD in 2020, before COVID hit in February, during Black History Month, actually, I started a little community for In the Huddle with Coach C. And that was mainly to talk with and help males of color, whether it's Black, brown, underrepresented, whatever term we want to use for that, to help them understand the college process, going to college if that was an option for them, what other options were there, what apprenticeships, internships, but also about the NCAA clearinghouse, because some of them were unaware of when to fill the forms out. They want to go to college, play football or basketball or what have you, but sometimes they didn't know how to connect, who to ask questions. So I took it upon myself to try to help those young men. So I brought that platform back now. In the Huddle with Coach C. On Fridays, I'll post either on Twitter, IG page, Facebook Reel, IG Reel, TikTok now I'm on that, just as a platform. So each week I try to provide a different topic, 2 minutes or less.
Yeah, again, Shea's very active on social media. You brought up a good point. You stepped away from being an athletic director, now you're into college counseling, but you're still very much, I think, a go-to resource for athletic administration and professional development. And I remember years ago at the school I was at, I was the AD and the head football coach. And long story short, I was asked to become our school's dean of students. We'd gone through a lot of deans. And I did that for 2 years and just really enjoyed it, working with, the kids that the dean gets to see and those parents. And like I said, I did it for 2 years and just thoroughly enjoyed it. But then I had an opportunity, another school approached me to become their athletic director. And I found that I liked being a dean, but I loved being an athletic director. But my point is, those 2 years I spent as a dean, it made me a better athletic director and better able to do that job. So again, you're taking, let's say you're taking a break from being an AD for a while and doing the college counseling thing. Those experiences, as you know, it's going to make you better in all the things that you do.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, like you said, we're still working with students, still working with kids, still in high school, just in a different rim of that understanding. But I think for such a time as this, it is definitely beneficial and important. So,
Well, we've got a little bit more time. Take us through, 365 mentoring and coaching. What are some of the things that you can provide for our listeners, most of whom are ADs? Why should they visit your website? And again, this is a Captain Obvious. You should, why should they get in touch with Shea Collins?
so number one, I don't just provide to athletic directors. So I will provide training for their coaches. I have a platform for that. I will provide coaching or I would say professional help per se to athletic directors as a whole. I will provide, I would say, platforms, work, sessions, breakouts to student leaders. I'm actually going to be speaking as a breakout session for our student leadership conference coming up in April. So I will talk to student groups, but also working with assistant coaches and coaches if that's the rim that they need, and plus one-on-one mentoring for ADs or athletic leaders, coaches even. So it's more than just athletic directors, but I think I try to reach, not think, but I try to reach coaches as well. If there's an AD who's having issues maybe, or wanted to connect more, I will come in, work with those coaches, work with those ADs or athletic directors as well. Student leader groups, whether it's SCA or SGA, maybe they have student leaders, but are not, they don't have time to train them because, you can put a student into a president or vice president role because of popularity, but can they lead and make sure that that group is going forward, not just the name in the title. And it's the same thing for us as athletic leaders. We all have different areas of strength. We also have weaknesses as well. So how do we hone into those to keep us being better, but also working to be better? So for me, my goal is to always try to work to be better, do something different to enhance myself so that I can enhance others. Because at the end of the day, it's not always about us, but it's about those who we affect. Because those who we affect should be able to tell someone else, not us lead with I can do. Someone else can say, hey, have you contacted so and so and so? Hey, Jake has an awesome podcast. He's the one you should go to. He's written 2 books. He's on his third. He's the one you should go to and contact, about tools and things like that. So someone else should be able to explore and tell about that than just us ourselves from the work that we're doing.
Oh, absolutely. And I appreciate that shout out too. Well, if one of our listeners wanted to reach out, find out more, what's the best way they can get a hold of you?
So my mentoring and coaching, I'm at 365 mentoring and coaching at gmail.com, working on my website for that. I'm also on IG at 365 _ mentoring coaching. Also Collins Ball for Life, my regular IG platform, which I also post on there as well. And then I'm on Twitter at 10S Collins. So I will be posting things like the Friday videos on that as well as my other platforms as well.
Yeah, Shea does some great stuff on social media. You need to follow her. Shea Collins, always a pleasure to hang out with you, my good friend, and all the best moving forward in 2023.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. You have an awesome one. Thanks for inviting me and having me as always.
You too. For our listeners, we do this every week and we upload the Zoom videos to our YouTube website, the YouTube channel, the Educational AD Podcast. We appreciate you listening. Come back next Wednesday for more Wednesday wisdom and just about every day on the Educational AD Podcast. We'll see you next time. Once again, we appreciate you listening to this week's Wednesday Wisdom segment. And before we go, we want to recognize our sponsors. We have 8 sponsors. I've used every single one of them as a coach or an athletic director, and they are great. The only one I didn't use, you've heard me say this before, is Hometown Ticketing. And the only reason I didn't use them was because I was retiring as an AD just as Hometown Ticketing was coming into vogue. But I've talked to hundreds of athletic directors across the country, and they all swear by Hometown Ticketing. So go to hometownticketing.com. Simple and easy online ticketing. I want to thank Athletic Surveys by LifeTrack. If you've never used a survey to take the pulse of your student athletes or your parents, you really need to check out Athletic Surveys by Lifetrack, athleticsurveys.com. Sideline interactive indoor scoring tables. One of the best purchases I ever made as an AD was our sideline indoor scoring table. Go to sidelineinteractive.com, schedule a live web demo. We want to thank Gipper. These days, it's about marketing your program, your teams, your coaches, and your student athletes, and Gipper is going to show you how to do that. Go to Gipper.com. Use our code ADPOD10, and you'll get 10% off. That's Gipper.com. We also want to say thanks to Huddle. As a football coach, I used Huddle for years. As an athletic director, our school was a Huddle school, and our coaches just loved the smart cameras, the apps. Of course, they love the analytics. Go to Huddle.com and turn your school into a Huddle school. We want to say thanks to Snap Mobile. Snap Mobile has an entire suite of platforms. Their fundraising platform is Snap Raise, and we used it with tremendous success, and you can too. They even have an option where you can get your funding before you actually start your fundraiser. I don't think anybody else has that. Go to snapraise.com for more information. We also want to say thanks to Wall of Fame by Vital Signs. If you're looking for a really cool way to display your school's record boards for all your teams, for all the programs, go to vitalsignswalloffame.com. And finally, we want to say thanks to Final Forms. If you're looking for a way to connect with your stakeholders, to help your coaches, and to help you as an athletic director do your job better, go to finalforms.com/Jake. That's finalforms.com/Jake. Thanks to all of our great sponsors, to our podcast partners, and to you for listening to the Educational AD Podcast. We'll see you next time.